Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here with Jim Dew, and we're going to talk about how much insurance you actually need. So Jim, common insurances are auto, home, liability, and when people are getting into these kinds of things, I guess usually when you buy an automobile, you get auto insurance. When you buy a home, you get home insurance. When do you get liability insurance? When does that even come into play?
If you're making any money, if you have any income and any assets, you need liability insurance. And umbrella liability through your home and auto is one of the cheapest kinds of insurance you can buy. You want to have it because if you ever get sued, it will protect you from that lawsuit. So let me give you an example. If you're out driving your car and you're not paying attention, you swerve to miss a dog, or you're texting, I know none of you would text while you're driving, you get distracted and you get in an accident, and someone in that car gets hurt and gets hurt badly, they're gonna probably sue you. And they're gonna sue you for a lot of money. Let's say that person can never work again and they make $100,000 a year and they have a 30-year career ahead of them. By doing that, by suing you, they're gonna sue you for at least $3 million. And if you don't have any umbrella liability coverage, the insurance company might just write a check for the little bit that you're covered, like $100,000 or $200,000. But beyond that, they're gonna just wash their hands of it and leave it up to you. So you have to go find your own attorney, you have to defend yourself, and they're gonna come after your personal assets. If you had an umbrella policy, let's say you had a $3 million umbrella policy, now they're gonna sue you, but you have that umbrella between you and that lawsuit. So it's almost like prepaid legal, because the insurance company is not gonna write the $3 million check. They're gonna fight it, they're gonna settle it, and you're gonna save all the money in legal fees, and also you're gonna be protected so they don't get after your personal assets.
Interesting. And just along with that, how do you know that you're getting the best rate, and are there other things that you're looking for besides a good rate? Obviously, there's a lot of companies that, during the Super Bowl, they'll advertise, the ones that we all know. But are there specific kinds of companies that you look for? Do you stay away from the big players, or do you buy policies from big players? What do you advise people do in that?
Well, it depends on your circumstances, but one thing you want to do is make sure you have quality coverage from a reputable company that's actually going to support you when you have a claim, because the cheap premium is going to be forgotten very quickly if you don't get service and they're not actually supporting you on your claim. So you want to have a provider that has a good claim history and how they support the people who are paying them, the premium payers, as well as you want to understand what's in the policy, because often people buy policies just based on price. And I can tell you that two different policies may be priced differently because one is a way better policy than the other. And specifically, you want a policy that is custom to you, because you may have certain things that you need to insure against that other people might not be concerned about. Like, let's say you like to go out on jet skis. You'd want to make sure you had good coverage for that. Let's say you ride a motorcycle. You'd want to have good coverage for that. Let's say you have a big dog or a pool or something that could cause a problem where you're going to end up in a lawsuit. So you want to make sure you have the right coverages and that the price is according to the policy. So you want to have good policies, and then you want them to be priced right in that order.
Gotcha. And are you in favor of high deductibles or low deductibles in general?
In general, I think a great thing to do, or a strategy to do, is to raise your deductible to lower your premium, and then use that savings to buy an umbrella that gives you liability protection. Because I tell you what, if you go from, let's say, a $250 deductible to a $1,000 deductible, I've never seen anyone in my career who had their life changed because they had to come up with $1,000.
Yeah.
But I've seen people in my career whose lives changed because they got sued for $1 million or $2 million or $3 million, and they didn't have the right liability protection.
Gotcha. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And then are there any red flags? Like if you see a company, if a person comes to you and they say, hey, I found this really great deal on this insurance, it's really low premiums, really low deductibles. Are there any red flags that you would immediately be able to identify to know whether this is a legit deal or not?
The first thing I would do is read the policy. Now, I know most people who buy insurance, the last thing you ever want to do is read the policy, but reading the policy is really important. If you don't want to read the policy, get the agent or the company to go over the policy with you. So if it's an 800 number, say, hey, I'd like someone to walk me through this policy and tell me the good, bad, and the ugly, the limitations, what this covers. And then I would also get another quote from a different insurance company or a different insurance agent and have them walk you through the whole process the same. By comparing the actual policies, you can get a much better policy in the future. So one red flag is just shopping on price. I'd be really careful just making my decision based on price. Another thing that I see that can be a disadvantage is sometimes I'll see different companies having different parts of the insurance coverage. So you might have your auto with one provider and your home with a different provider. Sometimes that's better for pricing, but you have to be careful that those policies actually work together and collaborate, because if you have a problem with one and it bleeds over to the other, they might not actually protect you in that situation. If you have one provider, it's more likely going to have that connected coverage, but that doesn't mean you always should just look at one provider. So just a few things to look for, and just to be aware that looking at the policy, reading the policy, and getting help to go over the policy would be a key part of what you would do to get a good insurance plan.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And then last question, I know there's some skeptics out there who they say, if I have more insurance, then people will come after me more. We live in such a sue-happy world. Is there a possibility that you're at more risk if you do have insurance coverage of running into these, litigations? Is that a thing?
Well, it is a thing in a way, because if someone's suing you, they want to get your assets or they want to get the insurance. They just want to get money. That's the most important thing, is they want to get money from you. So if you have insurance, yes, that's one other way they get money, but guess what? It's not your money. So I would not avoid insurance coverage in order to have a less chance that you're going to get sued. Here's the key. If you get sued, you have someone else with a big bucket of money called an insurance company who's going to pay those people so they go away and your assets retain with you. That's what you want to think about.
Gotcha. And if you're on a wealth building journey, you're going to want to protect your own assets anyway. So that makes total sense.
Yeah, and often I meet high income earners and they think, well, I don't have any assets yet. I'm just making a lot of money. Your wages can be garnished. You can actually be in a bad situation even if you have no assets. So as soon as you start making any money and have any assets, you really need to think about liability coverage. Because again, yes, an attorney may sue you, but an attorney is going to sue you anyway if you have assets or income. And having the insurance to protect you is really critical.
Awesome. Well, thanks for giving us these pointers, Jim. Hope you guys learned something, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out this next video.